Greetings, Star Warriors. Welcome to the Outer Rim. And today we will be reacting to more Rian Johnson comments. I am sitting in front of another article where Rian Johnson gives excuses for why he made the choices he did in his film. This article is entitled 9 Things We Learned from the Filmcast's Rian Johnson Interview. And this article is too infuriating to get through all 9, so I will probably be doing 3 or 4, maybe. Yeah, it's that bad. I'm pretty sure this article infuriated me more than any article I've seen from this turkey. So let me jump right into it so I don't waste any time and I can get it over with. On Tuesday night, Rian Johnson sat down with the hosts of Filmcast for an in-depth interview about the polarizing, powerful film Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So you can already tell what sort of article this is going to be. Powerful? Weak, I say. Anyway, Johnson dished on everything from how he originally pitched The Last Jedi to Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy to the furious backlash the movie received from fans on opening night, and that one striking scene that had theaters scrambling to put up warning signs assuring audiences that they were seeing what they were supposed to be seeing. Yeah. You should give me the warning before I see that crap. Okay. And because we're still all arguing about it, Johnson went into detail about Rey's origins. We're still arguing about the entire freaking story, and Johnson never addresses what we're actually pissed off at him for. He addresses some other shit. Below are some of the best tidbits and trivia we learned from the interview with the director. The subheading here is, Johnson didn't immediately say yes to direct Episode 8. He never should have said yes to direct Episode 8. After he had released Looper, Johnson had been approached with some offers to direct various franchises and got very used to saying no, determined to continue writing and directing his own stuff. So when Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy brought him the offer to direct Star Wars Episode 8, his immediate instinct was to reject it. What I'm really interested in, I forget this schmo, what I'm really interested in was what was Kathleen Kennedy's immediate reasons for wanting this guy who had directed 2 films, both under $31 million, to direct a $200 million film. But it's Star Wars, Johnson said. It was my whole world when I was a kid. Yeah, nice try getting me to believe that. It's hard to overstate the importance in terms of the foundations of my creative life. Badly written, whatever. So it's something that sort of stopped me in my tracks. He told Kennedy that he would think about the offer. You should have thought harder. You should have thought harder. Obviously, these guys aren't geniuses. So, moving on. I thought I would go home and make a list of pros and cons. But what I did was I went home, and for several nights I didn't sleep. I stayed up all night watching documentaries about mountain climber disasters. I guess The Last Jedi can be likened to a mountain climber disaster. In the end, Johnson said, it wasn't an intellectual decision. No duh, Sherlock. It wasn't an intellectual decision. I just had to do it. Don't you believe it? No, you didn't. I really want to know what you guys' take on this. I mean, just let this guy have it. I'm sick of his stupid statements. The next subheading. Johnson started writing his script before Force Awakens began production. So what that's saying is that he didn't know what the reception to The Force Awakens was before he began writing his script. Johnson's meeting with Kathleen Kennedy took place when J.J. Abrams and Lucasfilm were still prepping Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and production hadn't even started yet. When Johnson came on board for Episode 8, the first thing he did was read the script for Force Awakens. That was the only thing he had to go on when he was writing script for Last Jedi, Johnson said. When I was writing the script, I was watching the dailies from Force Awakens. I'm really grateful the timing worked like that, so I could see Daisy, John, Adam, and Oscar in their roles. But I'm really thankful I wrote it before the movie came out. I was writing based on my personal reaction to the script and to what I was seeing, and not based on some kind of perception of the world's reaction to it. Yeah, because who cares how the world reacts to the movie, right? Who cares how they react to the movie you're writing the sequel to? I'm not going to use that as a map for how I should proceed at all. That made it more personal in terms of the launching points I used for my movie. For my movie. Johnson didn't write the script in a vacuum, per se, but he was able to remain fairly divorced from the reception and fan community around The Force Awakens, and he kind of makes that out to be a good thing. He was grateful. Just being able to come at it storytelling-wise from a very pure place of what did this make me feel? What do I see in these characters, and what do I think is the next step up of it? Some idiot who has only done 2 movies, both worth less than $31 million, and he comes into a well-established, extremely popular franchise, and he wants to be an artist. He wants to be seen as an artist. Now you're just seen as a jackass. That The Last Jedi received after its release, especially pertaining to the twist with Snoke, Johnson said he wouldn't have done it any differently, because he's a complete effing moron. I wonder if he would have. He goes into meetings with Disney and he says that kind of crap to them. Yeah, I cost you $700 million because I want to be an artist. I don't care though. Give me my money. How much are you going to pay me for this crap? A lot of things that ended up taking hold in the fan community in terms of who is Snoke, who are Rey's parents, and the fever pitch that those rose to. I obviously knew those were questions you had coming out of The Force Awakens. But I didn't have the weight of the fan expectations of what the payoff of those questions would be. Because you're an effing idiot. You didn't even think about what the fans would think about that crap. They're watching a continuation of a previous film. The second in a 3-movie series. And you're like, no, I'm going to write my own crap. F the fans. F what JJ did. Which I think was a good thing. Costing Lucasfilm and Disney $700 million is a good thing. You get right on, Joe. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you know what you're trying to say at any point in your life. The timing of it was, it's not like I was aware of those expectations and was purposely trying to poke people in the eye. So you're just an accidental dunce. I was writing to my honest gut reactions to what the most powerful turn of events would be in those That's your excuse for everything. I was making it the most powerful it could possibly be. You were making it the stupidest it could possibly be. I'll make my statements on this after I get through reading his crap, because I'm just stopping and starting let's go. Johnson also went into detail as Snoke being a sort of Wizard of Oz. Snoke is the Wizard of Oz now, who works behind a smoke screen and relies more on theatricality and style than Emperor Palpatine did. But despite his investment into the look and facade of Snoke, Johnson still thinks that Snoke's backstory would have gotten cut out at some point, even if he'd written it. Of course it would have, because it would have been from you, and it would have been a terrible backstory. Okay, the next subheading is How Johnson Settled on the Idea of Force Projection. You know what? I'm not even going to read that part, guys. I'll put a link down below in the description box, and you guys can read the rest of this crap. I'm just going to come out with my closing statements on this guy and be done with this video. This is basically the pretentious BS you get from a director when he has nothing to lose. Steven Spielberg would have never written that story that way. Christopher Nolan would have never written that story that way. Ron Howard would have never written that story that way. Clint Eastwood would have never written that story that way. Not that these guys should have been writing the story at all, the directors. I mean, the day when directors become the head writers on $200 million films is not necessarily a good day. Which I guess is today, isn't it? But the point I'm getting at is all of these well-known directors would have never written The Last Jedi the way this idiot Rian Johnson wrote it, because they have reputations to protect. This guy had nowhere to go but up. Well, I guess we proved that wrong. The problem with this idiot, the reason he went down so bad has a lot to do with the fact that he's fighting the people that are telling him he sucks. But yeah, he had no reputation. As far as I know. I mean, Looper keeps coming up as if that's a big thing. I've never heard of Looper. I had never heard of Rian Johnson before this movie. If you care to, tell me about what the hell Looper is, other than a bad movie. Tell me about what it is in the comment section below. Just give me a small little synopsis of the thing. If you've seen it, if you liked it, tell me what you liked about it. If you hated it, tell me what you hated about it. And tell me if it would be enough for, if you think Looper was enough to get him this job. Because I'm not going to watch the film, so spoil it. Spoil it for me. But I'm done with this crap. Like, comment below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos come out. As always, if you're listening, you are the new rebel. 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 You are the new rebel.